Cancer. I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your mid-April through May career tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at your finances, your job. This is a great time, Cancer, as all planets are direct for about 3 weeks between April and May. So this is a great opportunity to put in those job applications, get some new clients, network. Really great time for that. We now have all planets direct. Like I said, Venus and Mercury have come out of their retrogrades. Mars moves into Leo. This is a great momentum for building all of our career goals. So we're going to start this reading off in mid-April and will take us until mid-May. So if you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you would. All right, Cancer, let's see what Spirit has for you. You start off mid-April with the Death card, Scorpionic energy there, Major Arcana in reverse. And the Tower card in the upright, Major Arcana there mid-April. Let's see what else is going on for you. 7 of Pentacles in the reverse by the time we get to the end of April. And the Devil card, Capricorn energy there, Major Arcana as well. We start off the month of May with the Lovers in reverse. I gave a little chuckle because you all have a lot of Major Arcanas going on here. Also the High Priestess, the Major Arcana theme continues, and by the time we get to mid-May, you all have some important decisions to be making with that 2 of Pentacles as well as the Ace of Swords. So clarity finally coming in at the end of this reading, but mid-May. So glad to see that, especially after all this turmoil. I will say you all have quite a bit of rockiness going on. I do think a lot of that is because Mars was in your sign, Cancer, for the last like 3 months, and now moving into Leo, you all are going to start seeing some movement in those areas that you could have felt stuck. So let's ask Spirit to send you a oracle message, or I should say let's see, send you a message for where you came out of the month of March. Thank you, Spirit. And Cancer, you will have in reverse 4 of Wands. So you know the 4 of Wands is that happy card, usually celebrations, you and a partner. This could be partnerships, but I do think with it in reverse, March could have been a tumultuous month for you, Cancer, if you all had a career or job that you were counting on other people. Those could have fallen through, maybe broken promises. There does feel like something here that you've been waiting a long time for some answers during the month of March. And I do think that you will see those answers by time you get to mid-May with that Ace of Swords at the end of the reading here. So Spirit is telling you just to be patient, Cancer. Things are unfolding. You are going to start seeing some more information come to light. Spirit, if you can send an oracle message card to my Cancerians for mid-April to mid-May. And you have 5 of water. So 5s always indicate strife, imbalance. It does say here, things not turning out the way you had hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, crying over spilled milk. So 5 of water is going to be this sign of, or this card of, where is it that you have been putting too much energy into things that you cannot change? This is going to be a period of time where information and people are going to be coming to you with things that you do not know where they came from, or maybe you do and you're trying to figure out how to move past it. And I do think this is going to be a month of a lot of change from mid-April to mid-May. So just be really patient with yourself, Cancer. I do feel like all of your cards are like pointing towards a lot of upheaval, but not necessarily upheaval that you can't get through. And that's the most important part. Once you get through it, then the rewards come. So I do think once we get to mid-April, we do have all planets direct, April 14th until May 3rd. During this time, I do think there's going to be this ramp up of energy. Mars enters Leo a few days later on April 17th. And I want you to really pay attention to what your feelings are and who comes to you, or what announcements are made possibly at your job. I do think this could be some layoffs occurring. This could be around you. It could be a spouse member who gets laid off, because you did have that Four of Wands. This could be more around your spouse or partner, but this also could be just like upheaval in your community or upheaval in your city or in your country, meaning like this feels just like a lot of rockiness is going on. And I just heard, you know, for any of you all who are in the US and have been affected by much of the administration's layoffs, I do think some of this is dealing with that, or kind of like the fallout of different things going on. And even if you're not in the US, just how the stock markets have been going, this seems like this is what you're needing to look at the midpoint of April. But I do think that by the time you get to the end of April, when you have this Devil card and Seven of Pentacles, instead of focusing on what it is that you have not been able to accomplish, Cancer, Spirit is telling you that by the time you get to the Taurus new moon on April 27th, remember the sun does enter Taurus on the 19th, so we're now in Taurus season, that new moon on the 27th, and then Venus entering Aries on April 30th is going to be very positive for the collective. And I do think that Devil card is Capricorn energy. You're looking at your goals. You're trying to figure out what have you not been able to possibly reap rewards from a certain type of job. Maybe you're thinking about leaving a certain job or a certain career. And I do think that once we get to that Taurus new moon, plant new seeds of intention of what you want for your career. I do think that's going to be really important as you step into May. And I do think for many of you all, Cancer, by the time you get to the beginning of May, this High Priestess and the Lovers card in reverse does suggest some type of turmoil with your beliefs and with your partner. And this partner could be, like I said, in the actual work life, but this also could be your partner in life, and maybe you all aren't seeing eye to eye. And Spirit is asking you to use your intuition during this time, because once we get to May 4th, when Pluto moves retrograde in Aquarius, there's going to be this kind of slow energy of you really focusing on yourself, but also focusing on your community. And I do think once Mercury enters Taurus on May 10th, pay attention, because I think money conversations around a raise, a bonus, possibly owing money could come up. This could be out of the blue information. And by the time you get to that Scorpio full moon on May 12th, that information comes out either with you or with your partner. So pay attention to your dreams, your intuition, because I do think messages are being sent to you. And by the time you get to mid-May, this is when some clarity comes in. This is the aha moment for you, Cancer. You've had a lot of heaviness those first 3 weeks between mid-April to May. And I do think by the time Venus exits its retrograde shadow on the 16th, and then the sun is conjunct Uranus in Taurus on the 17th. So this is more money news. You will have an important decision to make. If you have been interviewing for different roles, if you have been thinking about bringing somebody on, there's some type of clarity that comes in right around mid-May when Venus exits its retrograde shadow, sun conjunct Uranus in Taurus. You will have some money decisions to make. And I do think that if you can keep your head clear, it's going to be a lot easier to make this decision, and make sure whatever was clouding your judgment back here with the Tower card, that Death card, I do think by the time you get to mid-May, things look a lot better. So let me know, Cancer, what you're looking forward to in this month, and I'll talk to you later.